Porter. Bali, very good morning to you. So we heard from Tladi last night as well, saying that, look, if this is sustained, if this strike carries on, there's a real threat of the company folding. What are you witnessing there this morning?
Good morning, Blaine. Yes, indeed, we did hear SAA spokesperson speaking to Francis Hurd last night and basically saying that this strike is going to put them in a very difficult position financially. We understand that, and we do expect them to lose around 100 million rand. Yesterday, I was stationed right here where I am, speaking to some of the workers who are working here, and they were concerned that, SAA might not be able to pay salaries at the end of the month, given what the amount of money they're going to be losing as a result of the strike. We understand that workers have been gathered here since as early as 4 a.m. picketing in front of the main entrance, and they are saying that they will not budge unless SAA gives them that 8% increment that they have been asking for, while we've heard also from other workers saying that they would have rather gotten 15%. However, 8% is a compromise, and urge SAA to meet them halfway. We understand that they were also addressed by SAFTU Secretary General earlier, who spoke to them and called for the return of former SAA CEO Vuyani Jagana, saying that the turnaround strategy that they had negotiated with him did not involve restructuring and jobs being cut at this magnitude. We understand that earlier this week SAA announced that they would be looking to restructure SAA and cut around over 900 jobs. And now this is something that the unions have come out strongly against, saying that they do not expect workers to suffer the consequences of decisions that have been made by management. And they're saying that if SAA would like to save money, they need to look at their procurement processes and cut some of their procurement spend, saying that they are bleeding a lot of money to outsourced entities. And that's what is at the heart of this very strike. Workers continue to picket outside SAA's headquarters, and they will continue to do so for most of the day. I have been looking across the road. There is a bridge there, and I've been seeing a number of people coming in, so we are expecting a lot more people to come and join in on the strike. We're also expecting to be addressed, union leaders rather, to address workers at around 10 o'clock. We were informed of an official media briefing that is expected to take place at 10, so we're going to be standing by for that. But for now, let's take a listen to what Zimbabwe had to say.
The strike is now underway. It is going to be an indefinite strike. It is a strength shown by unity of NUMSA and SACA as the two leading unions that are leading workers into a battle that is simply unavoidable. A strike is always the last resort following the failure of all attempts to solve issues in the boardroom. So in this particular instance, this is the strike that can still be negotiated and settled if management revise their offer and come to the negotiating table with an open mind and with a drive to ensure that the strike doesn't go to the second day. Management always start by saying they have no cent. The SAA management said that they are offering a 0%. They are now above 5%, and we're asking them to go to the 8% that workers are asking for. Secondly, the issue of restructuring is a matter that was debated and settled amongst the role players at SAA under the leadership of the CEO, Vuyani Jagana, who had to leave because what he was putting on the table was apparently not something that the powers that be are looking for. We are convinced that the powers that be in the Department of Public Enterprises are looking at every opportunity to sell SAA on a silver platter to their friends internationally and locally. We are quite aware of the agenda to privatize. We will resist that agenda because we see the airlines owned by the public providing a very important cog in our overall integrated public transport system which will be made up of the trains, the rails, the buses, and all of the elements of the public transport. We are opposed to this attempt.
Essentially, Blaine, at the heart, at what's made this strike rather successful is the unity between the two unions, SA Cabin Crew, this SA Cabin Crew Association, as well as NUMSA, who have actually managed to get nearly 3,000 workers to down tools today, and this is why we're seeing all the disruptions we've seen across the country at the various airports. I know my colleague Ayanda Msongo is standing by in Durban to give us the latest there. But for now, Blaine.
Yambali, I was just something that the unions raised yesterday, which I found very interesting. They were saying that if SAA meets the demand of an 8% wage increase, it will cost the airline about 100 million rand per annum. So they're saying, in other words, the cost of the cancellation of flights for 2 days is equivalent to what they're actually asking for. What is SAA saying with regards to this?
Well, SAA is adamant that they are doing all of this in an effort to save the airline as well as return it to profitability. And they're saying that this forms part of its restructure, its turnaround strategy. We understand that the unions are unhappy with this move. They are saying that it just speaks to the arrogance of the airline, the fact that they refuse to meet them and give them the offer that they're demanding, but choose to cancel airplanes, they choose to cancel flights and lose the money instead of giving it to the workers. And obviously this is the reason why they're here, and they're actually calling on SAA to insource some of the workers. So we are going to see a continuation of the strike unless these demands are met. But for now, it's over to you, Ayanda Msongo in Durban.
Thanks very much to you and to our viewers. Very good morning to you. We're coming to you from the King Shaka Airport here in the city of Durban. And of course, speaking about the SAA strike this morning, we are in the arrival as part of the airport and in the section of the SAA, which is often, according to frequent passengers that we spoke to since this morning, one of the busiest areas here on the airport. A lot of passengers come through and travel on the airline. So since this morning, of course, it has been very quiet. There have been a few passengers that have been coming through, most of them speaking to the SAA personnel, which we see in the counters. They have been there since the morning, and we've seen a few of the passengers then being directed to the SAA ticket office, which is just across from the check-in counters, and them the passengers moving away. Others, for those we've spoken to from this morning, saying that they will then move off to try and find alternative airlines to be able to get to Johannesburg and other destinations. So certainly, as a lot of the passengers we spoke to this morning, others were saying that yes, they were aware of last night. They've been following the developments, and they did learn yesterday that the matter had not yet been resolved, and that this SAA strike was going to continue this morning. Others were saying yes, they had of course been following the news, but they were hopeful that there possibly were talks during the night, and that this morning when they arrived here at the airport there could be changes. Of course, unfortunately, many of them are being turned away. Let me now quickly bring in one of the passengers that we've been able to stop as he was coming from the SAA ticket counter. Sir, good morning. Thank you very much for just waiting to chat with us. Speak to us about your experience here this morning.
Morning. Basically, we came through this morning. It's the flights. We've been told my aunt is going to have to wait until Sunday, possibly, or Monday next week for her flight to get through to the UK. So it's a bit of a disaster, but we're more time together. So it's a win and a lose at the same time. Bit frustrating. Other than that, what can we do? Yeah? It's the world we live in.
Yeah. So now that, of course, you aren't being able to get to your flight, what then next for you? Are you now going to go to one of the other airlines?
I won't be going to other airlines. I'll be taking the advantage.
All right. right, it seems that we lost the link there to Ayanda Mhlongo. We will try to get back to her as soon as possible. I understand she is back on the line. Let's go back to Ayanda. Ayanda, very good morning to you once again.
The space, if not Monday, Tuesday.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much, sir. But obviously you would hope that you'd be anticipating that those in authority, the unions, SAA, do try to find a solution to this impasse.
Certainly,
Solution on loads of other fronts as well, not just this front.
Yeah, all right. So thank you so much for agreeing to chat with us right there. One of the passengers speaking to us here, he has said that unfortunately, due to the strike, he's unable to go back home, but he at least said he's happy with the fact that he's going to be able to continue to spend more time with the family. While he may be excited, other passengers seeming a little bit more frustrated with the strike, and of course they then trying to find alternative flights to get to their destinations.
All right, Ayanda, thank you very much indeed for your reporting. We'll check back with you in a short while. Let's head over now to the Cape Town International Airport. It's where we find our colleague Manalisi Dubase. Manalisi, what are you witnessing this morning?
Well, a very bad situation here at the Cape Town International Airport. I think it is worse than we have anticipated. I mean, the flights that were supposed to have come into Cape Town and those that were supposed to have got out of Cape Town are estimated about 18 flights. And I mean, passengers seem to have known that there will be this situation because there are quite very few of them who have come in here. And those who have come in here express their disappointments that, they were not adequately communicated with that there will be such a situation. But workers are gathering just outside the Cape Town International Airport to try to make their voices heard by the management. I'm with the representative from NUMSA here, Lisa Pinar. Lisa, your strike so far has been very successful, but how long are you still going to go ahead with this?
So we are not sure at this current moment. We've been raising issues. The wage demands has been on the table since April this year. Today we're going to stand together, stand strong until they provide us with more information. We've put offers on the table, demands, and they need to meet it unless there's a miracle that's going to happen. We're waiting for that. And so as long as it's necessary.
And tell me, is it only the wages, if you can just remind us, or are there other demands that you are looking at?
There's definitely other demands on the table. There's the external service providers that we requested that must be take away. At SAA provide that service. There's a lot of suggestions from the members and the staff to save costs, and they need to meet our needs as well. The wages is the most important, yes.
Thank you very much, Lisa. That's Lisa Pinar from NUMSA. I was saying just earlier in our other shows that what I've realized is a knock-on effects that this strike has on businesses here at the Cape Town International Airport. You'd find so many people in restaurants here, enjoying themselves. Right now, I've seen in fact, there are very, very few people at all these popular restaurants. One manager I spoken to earlier was saying that they will be monitoring the situation, and if it stays like this, they will have to tell half of their staff to go home, and they will do so tomorrow too if the situation doesn't change. But outside the airport where we are right now, I mean, even meter taxis that would always be buzzing in this international airports, you see few, and most of them are just parked, which means that the knock-on effects on other businesses and knock-on effects even on the passengers who were saying that they were expecting to go to the funerals in the Eastern Cape. I mean, they had to go back. I wonder if they will be able to get other modes of transportation to take them to those destinations. But the situation is very bad in the Cape Town International Airport. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Manalisi. You're asking very pertinent questions, and we want to put those questions to our viewers as well. How is this strike affecting you? What's your thoughts with regards to the strike at SAA? It's costing the airline, we're told, around over 50 million rand a day, and SAA operates over 100 flights a day, so the economic effect is serious. So, but we want to know from you in terms of the inconvenience it has caused. Send us your thoughts at the agenda_SABC. We're going to take a quick break, get you more news next.